I was surprised and pleased recently when US Senator Jim Inhofe took issue with Americans who aren't willing to get COVID-19 vaccinations. It shocks me that 1 in 3 American adults is saying they definitely or probably won't get COVID-19 vaccines, Inhofe tweeted last Sunday. We've heard it directly from the experts. The vaccine is safe and effective, and I encourage all Americans to get it when it's their time. He's right, but I wouldn't have expected him to say so for purely political reasons. I guess I should give up underestimating Senator Inhofe now that he's beyond the reach of voters. People who are eligible for vaccination, but not getting them, COVID-19 shirkers, offer a lot of reasons for their choices. Most of them involve bad information, bad thinking, or bad politics. Others have no reason at all. They just can't be bothered. They're all wrong, and Inhofe is right. Vaccines are safe, and they work. Everyone who can get vaccinated should. Speaking for myself and not Inhofe, I'd say it's not just a matter of self-protection, but a duty to your fellow Americans. If a sufficient portion of the US population doesn't get vaccinated, we won't be able to suppress the pandemic sufficiently to return to a truly open society. If you refuse vaccination, you put your own life at risk, but you also risk the lives of innocents, such as those for whom the vaccination doesn't work. You also leave open a vector for the virus to continue mutating and potentially become immune to the vaccine. That puts everyone at risk. Inhofe hasn't always been politically correct on this issue. Last March, early in the spread of COVID-19, and at a point when he was still within the grasp of his voting base, a reporter asked what precautions the senator was taking to protect himself from the virus. The New York Times reported that Inhofe extended his hand with confidence and said, "Want to shake hands?" At that time, public health experts were strongly discouraging handshaking and other physical contact between strangers, and Inhofe's jest felt like a sort of denial of the best science and of the need for everyone to accept new standards for hygiene. We've all learned a lot in the subsequent years, and it's good to see Inhofe urging everyone to protect themselves and society by getting vaccinated as soon as possible. Welcome to the bright side of life, Senator. Inhofe's Sunday tweet wasn't the first time he's made some surprisingly independent moves in recent weeks. Most notably, on January 6th, he voted to accept the submitted electoral college votes of all the states. He said at the time that he felt like it was his constitutional duty to do so. He was the only member of the Oklahoma congressional delegation to see it that way, and he ended up being the only one to escape association with the attack on the US Capitol that then President Donald Trump inspired. Last week, Inhofe again struck his own path, telling KOSU Radio that the November 3rd election may have had its foibles, but it wasn't rigged. Inhofe said other Republicans are trying to say that there's so much fraud in the election, and it just wasn't true, adding, even Trump's own Attorney General, William Barr, said, no, there was theft and there was corruption in every election, but not to the level that would have changed the outcome. He didn't exactly say the election was free and fair, but still, it was an independent stance, a willful decision not to toe the Trump line, which in current politics counts as courage. I'm not saying Inhofe has gone lefty in his final term in office. He hasn't. For example, he voted against convicting Trump on an impeachment charge under the spurious argument that you can't do that after someone has left office. More important, such an analysis would reflect a naive understanding of what makes Jim Inhofe tick. He lives and breathes republicanism. He's the most conservative member of the US Senate and proud of it. Every 2 years, he delights in pulling a set of index cards from his pocket and describing to the Tulsa World editorial board exactly how the Republicans are going to retake or retain control of the United States Senate, which GOP candidates have their races locked up, who may have some work to do, and who he's helping get across the finish line. Jim Inhofe is red through and through, and he loves the fight. An advanced look at what he's planning to say at the state GOP convention next month shows he can still stir the pot when called on. In a press release last week, Inhofe said he's going to tell the convention that he saw a new Trump at the recent Conservative Political Action Conference in Orlando, Florida. The new Trump is a unifier in chief of the Republican Party. For weeks, for months, all we heard from the liberal mainstream media is that there were divisions in the Republican Party, Inhofe said. They even went so far as to claim that there was a civil war that was going to destroy us. This weekend, former President Trump showed that nothing could be further from the truth. The Republican Party is united to defeat President Biden's radical agenda and to win back the House and Senate in 2022. Trump good? Check. Liberal mainstream media bad? Check. Democrats are radicals? Check. Win back the Senate? Check. He's still Jim Inhofe.